Hello. I figured if Keely was going to do a whole video where she was covered in a blanket, I might as well too. Hello everyone and welcome back to IB Helpline. I am Louise. I share this channel with Keely and currently I'm very tired for no reason and there's a car going past. I have a book. I wrote down what I want to talk about in my book so I get all the points. Thank you. I'm very professional. Can you stop driving past my house? You should be self-isolating. So, exam season's kind of stressful at the best of times, and currently it's not the best of times, what with the coronavirus. A lot of us have had our exam season, or like the way our exams are going to happen, affected. So honestly, before I get into any proper advice of how to survive exam season, please make sure that you are up to date with what is happening, and how corona has affected your exams and how your exams may or may not have changed. This is very important that you stay up to date on that, because it's very up in the air, which is not the best thing. I'm pretty sure some people have had their exams completely cancelled, which I'm incredibly jealous for, because my university, at least, we've just been told that they're going to put our exams online somehow, which I'm not looking forward to because I hate writing essays with a computer. I like writing them with my hands, because that's, what? But yeah, please stay safe. Please self-isolate as much as you can to protect yourself and those around you. And please make sure you're up to date with what's happening around your exams, blah, blah, blah. So let's get into, the advice on So let's get on to the advice on how to survive exam season that will actually be helpful whether or not corona is happening currently in whatever year you're watching this. If I turn this light off, how good is the lighting? Because I think it's flickering. Oh, well, that's not so bad, is it? Is that okay? Do you guys mind that? I think that's better than having a flickering light, right? I'm not redoing the intro. You can just have the flickering bright light, and then I'm gonna just... Is that focused? That looks focused. I can't tell. I need to get a bigger monitor at one point so I can actually tell if it's focused, but for now we're just going with the flip round from my camera screen. So the first thing that I think is really important to mention, which might not be so easy to get done now that, at least for this exam season, with corona making everything go crazy, is that if you have some kind of mental health thing that will severely affect how you perform in exams, and make you come out with a grade that doesn't actually reflect your understanding of the subject, it's really important that you let someone know so that you can get accommodations made for you. I know, for example, if you have anxiety, not just regular anxiety, but the kind of anxiety that is like a mental health thing, then you can get provisions made, and sometimes the provisions are extra time, sometimes the provisions can be things like taking your exam in a separate room. But if you have something that will affect your grades, it's important that you can tell them so that they can counterbalance it with measures that will support you. The second thing that's really important that I want to talk about is that it's very important that during the exam season and the time leading up to your exams and during your exams, you need to find a balance between studying and taking care of yourself, so you're not working yourself to the point of exhaustion and then performing badly in the exams, but you're also actually studying as much as you need to, and you need to find what that balance is for yourself. So it's important that not only are you studying an amount that is going to get you the grades that you need or want, but you're also sleeping enough and eating healthy foods and exercising to keep the nice hormones up and the negative hormones down and things like that. If you're someone who can keep food down before an exam, there are foods that you can eat that are like brain foods that can, you know, help you to not only feel full throughout the exam, but also help you, I don't know, brain foods. Like if I have a very early morning exam, I normally can't stomach eating food, but if I had an exam at like midday, I would definitely be able to eat breakfast. And especially for my IB exams that were around like midday, I would eat breakfast and I would have avocado, tomato, bacon and eggs, and that was exquisite. So many cars, I'm so confused. Y'all should be staying home. Go home. Go home. Maybe they are going home. I don't know. The third thing that I want to talk about that's very important is that you need to try and make sure that you limit distractions as much as possible. Like, I'm not saying you can't have any fun during your exam season, but there are certain things that you should probably try and cut out that you normally would consider acceptable. Like, for example, you might want to get rid of all mobile games on your phone, because it might just be something that you see on your phone and then you're like, oh, and your brain gets distracted when you should be studying. Like, that's what I do, because I still play games during the exam season, but I play them on my computer because it's not so much of like a distraction. Like, when I go to play games on my computer, it's because I know that I have the time and it's a relaxation that's like scheduled and I'm supposed to be relaxing at that point. But if I see games on my phone, sometimes I will get distracted at a point when I should be studying. And it's like one of those things, oh, my hair's in my face. It's one of those things where distractions like that aren't necessarily bad things in your general day-to-day life, but during, you know, the brief period where you're going into and during your exams, you really don't want those kind of distractions to be there, because they do take away precious time, and time is very precious during exam seasons. The final thing that I want to talk about is kind of the pre, during and post exam itself. It's really important that you have some way of alleviating the stress and anxiety that you feel going into it. And here, where I'm mentioning anxiety, I mean just like a general level of anxiety that everyone feels about exams. For starters, it's very important that you try and get to your exam as early as you possibly can. I mean, obviously not within reason, but you don't want to be turning up right before it, so you don't have any time to relax before you go in. Stop driving past me house. There was one of my GCSE exams that I actually got I got stuck in really bad traffic before it. I literally had to run across the school campus, and then I literally managed to get in like the building. Everyone had already gone in, but they hadn't started the exam yet, so I sat down, and for whatever reason I was right at the front, and I was like sitting there shaking, and I sat down just before they started reading out, you know, the pre-exam. Stop. You better go. Don't open the study door. Don't open the door, please. I don't like being caught filming. Thank you. Yeah, so I sat down right at the front just as they were about to start reading out, you know, the things that they have to say before you could start the exam. And my teacher gave me such a look, and I was just like, it's not my fault, there was traffic. But I literally had physical shaking for about half of that exam because of how much adrenaline I had built up from thinking that I was going to miss the exam. It was horrible. Yeah, as much as possible, you try and get to the exam maybe 45 minutes, half an hour early, and then find a quiet place where you can sit and kind of meditate to yourself, or do something to keep your mind off what you're about to go into. You don't really want to be sitting there like this with your study notes and just right before the exam, because it's only going to stress you out more. And like, let's be honest, the likelihood of you like learning something in those like last stressful seconds and minutes before the exam from your study notes that you will actually remember, that will be able to help you in your exam, is like, whereas the negative effects of you stressing yourself out right before the exam are. So during the exam, one of the best ways to keep yourself calm and to survive the exam is to have a good time management like system. So it's important that you know your exam paper before you go in, or at least, you know, obviously not, you can't know what's going to be on it, but you will know roughly the number of questions, or you will know the number of sections, things like that. Keely's previous video, which I will link below, was an exam time management for an essay-based exam. So, you know, that kind of thing. If you know how long you have to work on each question and you stick to that, and then you leave yourself some time at the end to go back and check everything over, the whole experience is far less stressful than if you're rushing through and you don't really know, you know, how much you've got left to do and how much time, yada yada yada. And then after the exam, as much as possible, you should just kind of like take that exam and kick it out. You do not want to be thinking, once you've done it, you don't want to think about it. You want to kick it out of your brain. You want to focus on the other exams you have, and if that was your last exam, you want to not think about it at all. In the period of time that you have between doing your exams and getting your results, you don't want to think about it like at all. Just don't. Unless, of course, you studied so well and you have no anxiety and you're absolutely convinced that you got amazing grades, then you can think about it if it makes you feel happy. But for the most part, I would say just put it out of your brain and don't think about it again until like maybe the day before you get your exam results, because it's far better if you can just take that, you know, period of intense, oh my god, what did I get, and put it into like 2 days rather than 2 months of waiting. It's not really a great feeling, and you could probably put yourself in a really bad headspace if you think about what your results could have been for the entire time that you're waiting to get them. Okay, that's all I really have to say for this video. I'm aware it's quite a general, you know, mention of things to do to keep yourself like relaxed, but I don't want to go into too much detail. If you guys want a more detailed video with more like in-depth methods, if you want to know exactly what I do to, like, you know, I am willing to make a much more detailed video if you would actually be interested in it. So if you are interested in it, let me know. Or if you have any specific questions that I can just answer in the comments, also just comment and I will answer them to the best of my ability. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful and you have watched the whole way through, please like and subscribe the video. I'm sure if you found this video helpful, we do have some other videos that you'll probably find helpful too. Although we do also have some videos that are just stupid and we do just upload for our own entertainment, so there is that. I have been Louise of IB Helpline. You and me are the poor students going into our exam seasons very soon. I hope you have a great time studying, or at least if you can't enjoy it, that you do as much as you need to do. Thank you, and hopefully I will see you in the next video that I upload. Goodbye.